Welcome back to the Grind, Sleep, Repeat podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about our number one tips for fat loss in 2025.
Yes, a lot of people have awesome fitness goals, either starting in the New Year's, they're going to get back into the gym, or maybe you're already in the gym and you're looking to really just hunker down and really focus and see some awesome progress. So that's what we want to help you with today. We want to give you our top tips on how to lose fat, how to keep fat off. We'll also go through some tips on how to lose fat and build strength and strength train at the same time. But we want to just cover everything you need to know about losing body fat and setting realistic goals and achieving the results you want to see in 2025. But before we hop into that, if you guys are listening to the podcast today and you're like, I don't know what I need to do in the gym. This is great information, but when I get to the gym, I just don't know what to do. If you're looking for structure, if you're looking for a program, we'd love to help you out. We also offer online training. So we train here. We have this gym here in Nebraska, but we also offer online programs custom to the individual. So if you're looking for more structure, if you're looking for a tailored plan to you, I left a link in the description below. Head over to fitgrindformula.com, fill out that link, and we can set up time to chat more and set up an awesome program for you to see the best results possible in 2025.
Starting with one of my favorite tips that nobody likes to hear is you need to track your food. So, as much as we hate tracking and keeping track of what we're eating, it's the only way to really get a detailed analogy of how much food we're eating, how much protein we're getting, and how consistent we're being. Because if we're not consistent with what we're eating and what we're putting into our bodies, then how do we know how to make those adjustments? If I'm eating, 1,700 calories and being really strict and meal prepping my food throughout the week, but then on the weekends, I let loose and have these big drinking benders, go out to eat and have all this different type of food that I'm not eating during the week, then I'm not in a calorie deficit and I'm just going to keep spinning my wheels and I'm going to be super frustrated. So my number one tip is you have to track. This isn't something you have to do forever, but if you have goals and you want to lose weight or build muscle or have body recomposition, you have to track your calories.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable. And we always say, you don't have to track your calories for the rest of your life. But if you're somebody that has goals, let's track. Let's find out your specific macros. It's something that we provide for our clients and get really specific with and make tweaks over time, because it is something that you may need to tweak over time as your body composition changes, as your workouts change, and as your fitness progresses. But tracking your food is a non-negotiable, and it's something that is going to take the guesswork out, because if you're going to the gym and you're having awesome workouts, you're getting stronger, but you go home and you shoot yourself in the foot because you don't know how many calories you're eating, the carbs, the fat, the protein, you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to spin your wheels. So it's the combination of diet and exercise that is going to allow you to see the results that you want to see. And tracking is the way that you're going to do that, by combining structured workouts with nutrition. And for anybody that doesn't know what a caloric deficit is, something that you mentioned, basically that's just saying that if you're looking to lose body fat, you have to be eating fewer calories than your body's burning. So say for your example here that you are eating 2,000 calories and your body burns 2,500 calories a day. That means you're negative 500, meaning that you're going to burn an additional 500 calories every day than you're eating. That is a caloric deficit, and that is how we lose body fat, staying in that consistently. But like Alyssa mentioned, if you're tracking or you're really sporadic with it, maybe 2 or 3 days of the week you're in a caloric deficit, but then the weekend comes around and you just go out to eat and you have alcohol and you don't really track, it's going to come out to bare minimum even, or you might be in a caloric surplus, meaning that you're eating more calories than your body's burning, meaning that you're going to hold on to body fat, you're going to gain weight. So tracking is the first thing that you have to do. We'd love to help out with any questions that you have on tracking or macros or how much protein, carbs, fat that you need. So definitely let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to help out with that.
With all that being said, too, know that this is just temporary. Know that we're not going to be in a calorie deficit forever or calorie surplus forever. So it's temporary. And when we break down our calories, we have proteins, fats, and carbs. And with our protein, we want to make sure we're eating 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight. And that never changes. If we're in a calorie surplus, if we're in a calorie deficit, our protein always remains the same. Now, as far as fats and carbs go, you can play around with that. Some people do better with higher fats. I don't recommend being super, super low carb because I do feel that everybody needs enough carbs as far as energy goes. But those you can play around with a little bit. And as far as your maintenance calories, you do have to track and figure out where maintenance is. There's a lot of calculators out there that can give you a good idea of what your maintenance is, but everybody's different. Are you someone who moves around a lot? Do you fidget a lot? Are you in a job where you're working construction or a nurse and you're on your feet all day? Those things play in factor to how many calories that you're expending throughout the day too. So keep that in mind, track and allow yourself to find those maintenance calories before diving into that deficit or that surplus too. When we do dive into those deficits or surpluses, we don't want to hit these extremes either. So our deficit shouldn't be this extreme 700 calories less than what our maintenance is, because that's not sustainable. Even if it's just for 6 weeks or 8 weeks that you're in this deficit, you're going to have these crazy cravings, or you're less likely to stick with that and stay on your diet. Start by doing a small amount, see where that gets you, and then slowly cut back more if you need to, or bring in more movement, which we can dive a little bit into that next too.
Yes. So, as crazy as it sounds, if you're looking to burn body fats and have body recomposition, you have to strength train. It is, again, it's a non negotiable. A lot of times people think of cardio first as like, if I want to lose weight, I got to eat less food, I got to hop on a treadmill, and I got to starve myself. So, those are all tools. Yes, cardio is a tool, nutrition is a tool, strength training is a tool. But with strength training, it's going to help you build muscle. And the more muscle that we have, the more calories we're going to burn at rest. So, say, for example, if someone puts on a couple pounds of muscle mass and they're burning an additional 100, 150 calories a day, doesn't sound like much. But if you could burn an additional 150 calories every single day, rather than doing that through cardio, that's going to be huge for your overall total weight loss. But then also it's going to be huge for being able to maintain your weight loss, because again, we're talking about losing weight, getting in shape, and maintaining that. And strength training is the one thing that you can do that is investing in your overall health, but also investing in increasing your metabolism. That when you're done with cardio, say you burn 300 calories in a cardio workout, you're not burning any additional calories once that cardio stops. With strength training, you may burn fewer calories during the workouts, but it takes energy to repair the muscle tissue that you break down. Like I said, as you build more muscle, muscle is just very thermogenic. So it's going to cause you to burn more calories throughout the day without having to do additional cardio. We can use cardio as a tool. We'll talk about that later in the podcast, but strength training is something that you need to structure in your workouts. If you're new to strength training, start off with it a couple times a week. Focus on getting stronger. If you're already strength training, ask yourself, am I really pushing myself in my strength training workouts? Am I doing the same weights every time? Because if so, that's not going to help you build additional muscle. You need to always place a stimulus in the gym. You need to come in and try to get stronger from week to week and have progression, because those workouts can't get stagnant. That's not going to cause you to build more muscle mass. But strength training, we can dive in deeper on that, reps, sets, all that kind of stuff. But again, it is a non-negotiable in your program if you're looking to lose body fat. Again, it's a huge piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, looking a little deeper into the strength training portion too, when you are in that calorie deficit, it is so important to prioritize that protein, because we need, in order to keep that muscle mass, we need to make sure we're hitting our protein. Because like Jordan said, when those muscles tear, they need to be repaired. And when we are in that deficit as well, we are likely to lose a little bit of muscle mass if we're not careful with our calories too. And if we don't push ourselves in the gym like we were before being in that deficit, you are going to have less energy. You feed your body less, you're going to naturally have less energy. That's what food is. Food is fuel. It gives you energy. So when we're not eating as much in that calorie deficit, we are going to have less energy. So the best thing you can do when you are in a deficit is prioritize your food around your workouts so that you do have energy and you can exert and use all of that energy towards your workout.
Yeah, it's a great point. And listen to this podcast, you can probably think about some people that maybe you know, or family members or friends that have had a crazy weight loss transformation. And they lose all this weight and they go on this crazy fad diet where they slash calories, they exercise obscene amounts of time, and then they get burnt out. They lose all this weight. They might have lost a lot of muscle. They're weak and frail. And then eventually they put all that weight back on. And this is the prime example, because if you're losing weight too rapidly through extreme calorie deficits, if you're not strength training, you're doing lots of cardio, if you're doing those things, you're going to lose muscle mass in the process. So like Alyssa mentioned, strength training is going to place the stimulus on your body. If you're consistently strength training, you're telling your body, we need muscle mass because we're constantly getting challenged a couple times a week to do certain exercises, and we have to do it. And we have to hold on to this muscle mass. Eating your protein, like you mentioned, is going to tell your body, hold on to muscle mass. If we just eat all carbs and fat, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass in the process. So strength train, lift heavy. And I say heavy, meaning relative to you. If 10 pounds is heavier for you, that's great. If 110 pounds is heavy for you, that's great too. Just relative to you, you need to challenge your muscles. And that's going to allow you to lose body fat while maintaining as much muscle as possible, because we don't want to lose all this weight, but then we lose all this body fat and we get what I call a scubby, where it's like skinny chubby, where you just don't have any muscle mass and you've lost a lot of body fat. You don't have any more body fat to lose. You want to maintain muscle mass so that we can focus on having good body composition. And it'll be a good place for you to maybe switch to a different goal once you've lost all that body fat, if you maintain more muscle mass in the process.
Yeah, and if you're someone who's starting out and you're maybe you're super overweight and you have a lot of body fat to lose, implementing in cardio is going to be important along with the weight training. But if you're somebody who, is already in decent shape and you're like, I just want to cut like 5-10 pounds, nothing crazy, the cardio piece is actually not going to be as important. I mean, we're all about implementing hybrid training, strength training, and cardio for health benefits. But what I want to set straight is when people think, I need to lose weight, I need to jump on the treadmill, I need to run, that's not always the case. And the body that you're aiming to create typically is a body that is strength training.
Yeah.
When someone comes in and they say, I want that toned look, typically, and they show you a picture of what they're looking for, it's typically somebody who's strength training.
Yes.
And that person is doing cardio for health benefits and for fat loss. So implementing in, interval training, or if you're just somebody who enjoys running, you don't have to totally give that up, but the priority is going to be more strength training.
Yeah.
Somebody who's trying to lose a lot of body weight and has a lot of body weight and body fat to lose. Now that person, I'm probably going to have do more cardio. And sometimes it's not just the intense cardio. Sometimes it's just like you just need more movement. You just need to walk more. I just need you to get up and move your body more than you are doing right now.
Yeah. That can kind of take us into our third tip before we talk about cardio. And this is something you can implement before we even talk about cardio, is increasing movement.
Yeah.
Exactly like you said. If you're looking to lose body fat, increase your movement to the gold standard, which is 10,000 steps a day. Look at a watch, get a pedometer that you could clip on your waistband. Even if you don't want to wear a watch or buy a watch, you can get a pedometer for like $10 on Amazon. So just overall increasing your step count every day is going to burn additional calories that isn't necessarily cardio in itself. So we've talked about diet is huge. We've talked about using strength training to increase your metabolism. Steps. Now let's talk about cardio, to where, yes, cardio is a tool, but again, it's a card that you can play. I always tell people, we would rather nail our nutrition, nail our strength training, nail our movement, and then limit cardio in the beginning, and then use cardio as a tool to increase intensity. So say like you start off with a little bit of cardio, maybe do like 2 cardio workouts a week, and then we're losing weight, and then we kind of hit a stalling point. If you start off with cardio every single day for 45 minutes, and you hit that stalling point, you have nowhere to go. Like, you have to add more cardio. So now you do it for an hour every single day. Pretty soon you hit a stalling point, and then it's an hour and 15 minutes. That's a lot of cardio every week. So use it as a tool in your back pocket to play. Do cardio for health benefits, like we mentioned. I think the standard right now is like hitting 150 minutes of aerobic cardio every week. That might be challenging for some people, if you're breaking that into 3 workouts, that's 50 minutes, but you can also count walking as well. So say that you go for a 30-minute walk every day, that puts you well over 150 minutes every week. But like I said, use cardio as a tool and then progress as needed.
Yeah, I think too, something that's become really popular is those, like, walking treadmills.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody who has a desk job and you're stuck at that computer all day long, I know it's easy to make excuses and say, "I have a job that I have to be sitting at a desk all day." Now, we have the option and the opportunity to incorporate movement while working, and then you have those desks that rise, and you can put your computer up there and work at the same time. But it's also important to, take breaks too when you can and go outside and get some vitamin D, get some fresh air, and get outside and incorporate that movement, whether it be, middle of the day or you get up early in the morning and get the movement in first thing in the morning, or it's in the evening after dinner and after the kids are, settled and homework and lunch or dinner bleh, and homework and bedtime is all squared away, then you can get in your movement as well. But it doesn't have to be something either that's all 30 minutes all at once. You can break that up like 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, and 10 minutes at night. It doesn't have to be extravagant. And it can even be 5 minutes if you only have 5 minutes, but just incorporating more movement than you were doing before.
Yeah. We can talk about specific structure too. So, looking at cardio, you typically want to have both intensities in your program. You want some
Yeah.
high intensity, you want some low intensity. Most of your cardio does not need to be high intensity sprints, high intensity intervals. That's really good for fat loss, but it's very physically demanding on your body and your nervous system. So, if you're already strength training, if you add a bunch of HIIT workouts in every week, your nervous system is going to take a hit and it's going to impact your recovery for your strength training sessions. You're not going to
Yeah.
have the same enthusiasm to hit those workouts. So start off with maybe 2 to 3 cardio workouts a week. If you're doing 3, I would do 2 of them to lower intensity. You're sticking with one cardio modality and you're trying to just go for the duration. Say it's 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever it is. You're going to row for 20 minutes or you're going to bike for 20 minutes or you're going to walk or you're going to run. It's a pace you can hold that is somewhat uncomfortable, but you still should be able to kind of hold a broken up conversation.
Yeah.
The other day of the week, you can do higher intensity stuff, things like AMRAPs, EMOMs, intervals, sled pushes, battle ropes, all those types of higher intensity workouts that are fun. They're very challenging, but you should use those sparingly in your workouts. And as you progress, like you're going to build tolerance to those. And eventually down the road, that's something you could always incorporate more of when you're ready for it. But don't throw so much cardio in your program when you first start off. We're jazzed up, we're amped up, we're ready to hit this new year and have all these fitness goals that we want to achieve. And we want to do the perfect program with 6 days a week of strength training. I'm going to do a cardio an hour every day. I'm going to follow a super restrictive diet. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to stick with it. Or maybe you can stick with it for 4 weeks. You see all this great progress. But the problem is you never really learned how to lose body fat the correct way, or you never learned how to lose body fat and build muscle the correct way. So what we're preaching and what we implement with our clients and the people that we help is practices that you can sustain, that are going to help you see great results without consuming your life and feeling like you can't stick with this and this is just not a realistic thing for you to incorporate in your life. Fitness should add to your life. It should not take away from your life.
Yeah. And I think that the main goal here is to come up with a plan, structure your calories, track your calories, and structure your workouts so that you have a set plan and you're not going and throwing everything at yourself all at once because we live in an environment that is already stressful. If you have a job that you're stressed out about, you have kids that you're stressed out about. Those are normal stressors in life, but when we start throwing being in a calorie deficit, throwing a bunch of cardio at us, and maybe it's sleep that you're not getting or the lack of recovery. When you do that, you're putting more stress on your body. And when we put more stress on the body, we're less likely to be able to lose that weight. So
Yes.
create a plan, allow yourself to, you know, to slowly ease into that plan and prioritize your recovery, prioritize your sleep, and you will be set for 2025.
Yeah. So we hope this podcast helps, guys. If you're at this point in the podcast and you're like, that's great information. I don't know what the heck to do. We'd love to help out any way that we can. You said we offer online training. So if that's something that you're interested in, go down to the description if you're listening on YouTube, or head over to fitgrindformula.com. There's a form that you can fill out and we can set up time to chat more. Like I said, that's something that we're very passionate about, helping people, and we'd love to help you reach your goals in 2025. We'd love to help coach you.
Mm.
And if that's something you're interested in, definitely go check it out. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you guys in the next podcast.
We'll see you guys next year.